Hare Krishna. So am I audible to everyone? Thank you so much, all of you, for turning up yet again on this nice Sunday feast program. We discussed Srimad Bagavatham here, and today we are going to discuss the 25th verse of the second chapter of the first canto. I think His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu took the session last time, right? And it was a wonderful session. We see if we can, carry on from there. So before starting, I would like to sing Jai Radha Madhav, and I would request Prabhuji to please help me with the kartal. Yeah, thank you so much. Please sing after me, because it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, Narad Muni has confirmed that those who clap and sing, the sinful reactions of several lifetimes, they just fly away from us, just like once you see a flock of birds and clap, what happens? The birds fly away, right? Similarly, our sinful reactions also go away once we clap and sing. So please try to follow me. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Yashodanandana Bhaj Janarangana Yashodanandana Bhaj Janarangana Yamuna Tira Vanchari Yamuna Tira Vanchari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yugdhar Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki. Prabhu, can you help me with the book, first canto? Yeah. Okay. So before we start, a quick disclaimer from my side that I was given a very late notice and I didn't get much time to prepare. So whatever I say, whatever I speak, it's all by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. I am just leaving it to him. And please, bear with me and tolerate with me. Okay. So we'll see the 25th verse of the second chapter of the first canto. It's okay, Prabhu, I can. It's okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Okay, but before we proceed, first of all, I would like to dedicate this session to our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So what I'm going to speak, I will merely repeat what I have read in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada. I will merely repeat what I have read from the purports of Srila Prabhupada and what I have learned from all my Siksha Gurus and the different Acharyas of ISKCON. So we'll first do the Mangala Charan and then we'll proceed. Those who know, please repeat after me. Those who don't, please try to listen very intently because listening is also very, very purifying. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरद्विषे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघिते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वर। हरि ओम तत्सत्। ओके, प्लीज रिपीट आफ्टर मी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्य उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Okay, so the verse goes like this. Please repeat after me. Bhejire munayotagre Bhagvantam adhokshajam Sattvam vishuddha kshemaya Kalpante ye nutaniha। भेजिरे मुनयोथाग्रे भगवन्तं मधोक्षजं सत्वं विशुद्धक्षेमाय कल्पन्ते ये नुतानिह। Can anyone repeat? Anyone would like to repeat? Prabhuji, anyone? Mataji, yeah, please go ahead. भेजिरे मुनयोथाग्रे भगवन्तं मधोक्षजं सत्वं विशुद्धक्षेमाय कल्पन्ते ये नुतानिह। Anyone else? One more. Please go ahead to. भेजिरे मुनयोथाग्रे Bhagvantam adhokshajam.
Sattvam visuddham chemaya.
Sattvam vishuddham shemaya.
Kalpante yenutaniha.
Kalpante ye nutaniha. Okay, so please repeat after me. Bhejire, rendered service unto. Munaya, the sages. Atha, thus. Agre, previously. Bhagvantam, unto the personality of Godhead. Adhokshajam, the transcendence. Sattvam, existence. Vishuddham, above the three modes of material nature. Kshemaya, to derive the ultimate benefit. Kalpante, deserve. Ye, those. Anu, follower. Tan, tan, those. Iha, in the material world. So the translation goes like this. Previously, all the sages rendered service unto personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. Purport: by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. The purpose of performing religion is neither to profit by material gain nor to gain simple knowledge of disconcerting matter from spirit. The ultimate aim of religious performances is to release oneself from material bondage and regain the life of freedom in transcendental world, where the personality of Godhead is the supreme person. Laws of religion, therefore, are directly enacted by the personality of Godhead, and except for the Mahajans or the authorized agents of the Lord, no one knows the purpose of religion. There are 12 particular agents of the Lord who know the purpose of religion, and all of them render transcendental service unto Him. Persons who desire their own good may follow these Mahajans and thus attain the supreme benefit. So we'll see all these points one by one. Let's try to analyze this verse. So what are the questions that we are trying to address in this particular session? It will be, why did the great sages render service unto the Lord? That's the first one. What is the meaning of Adhokshaja? Who are these 12 Mahajans which Srila Prabhupada is talking about in the purport, the 12 agents? And what is the supreme dharma of a living entity? And what is the mood of a pure devotee? We'll try to understand with a very beautiful pastime. Okay, that's towards the end. And then we'll try to see what are the lessons that we can derive from this verse. Okay, so we can start analyzing. So in the Rig Veda, there is one very beautiful shloka which says, Tad Vishnu Param Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya. So Surya means all the great sages. It is something very similar to the verse that we are reading right now. Okay, it says those who are great sages, they are always looking forward to see the lotus feet of Vishnu. Okay, so what we can understand from this particular verse is that in the previous ages, it's been mentioned here, Bhejire Munayo Thagre. So Agre, that means previously. Okay. So all the great sages, they had an absolute clarity about their spiritual realization, okay, like what they need to do. Okay, in the Srimad Bagavatham, we come across one particular verse which says Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwaniti Shabdate. Right? That means the supreme absolute truth can be realized in three forms. I think most of you must be knowing, right? It's the Brahma Jyoti aspect, which is the personal effulgence of the Lord. Localized Paramatma, which is in the heart of every living entity, and finally the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, who is Krishna. Okay? If we read the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita purport, Srila Prabhupada derives a very nice analogy of these three aspects. Comparing them to the rays of the sun. Okay, Brahma Jyoti is maybe analogous to the rays of the sun. The localized Paramatma can be compared to the sun disk. Okay, which we see, and then finally the Bhagwan aspect. is basically the sun planet or the Surya Loka, right? So all these understanding are correct, okay, but the first two, the Brahman realization and the localized Paramatma realization, they are very, very, what to say, an incomplete realization, okay, like there is a lot to know. So only people who have realized the Bhagwan aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are said to be in the complete knowledge, or they can be considered to be in the complete knowledge, okay. So now what happens is, say for example, once we say, if we come to the analogy of the sun itself, right? So when we say that there is a Surya Loka and then there is a presiding deity, who is a sun god, his name is Vivaswan, and then he has his own kingdom and all the living entities are residing in that Surya Loka, right? So this is the complete understanding. It's not that the people who are saying that the sun rays is also same as the sun, or the sun disk is also same as the sun, they are wrong in any way. No, they are not wrong. It's just that their realization is not complete. So in the previous yugas, the sages, what we are seeing is that they had a full and complete knowledge. Okay, they knew that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person. His name is Krishna or Vishnu. And they used to render service on the lotus feet of Krishna or Vishnu. Okay, so this impersonalism or voidism, which we see, all the Mayavadis and all the different sects that have come up, they have come up at a very later stage. These are all, Kali Yuga, like Kali Yuga derived faiths, basically, right? Very late they have come up, but we will try to understand why suddenly from such clarity we have degraded to this kind of beliefs such as impersonalism or voidism. Okay, so the spiritual awareness in different yugas. So the reason is that in the Satyuga the spiritual awareness was 100%. Okay, the only aim of the people of Satyuga was to somehow get rid of this cycle of birth and death. So whatever they used to do, they simply used to follow whatever is written in the Shastras. They simply used to follow the Vedic injunctions as it is without any concoction or anything. Okay, so they were 100% realized, they were 100% aware of what they have to do and what they don't have to do. Similarly, in Treta Yuga, this awareness went down up to 75%. In Dwapar Yuga, further to 50%, and in Kali Yuga, it's just 25%. Okay. Now, when we say 25%, means only 25% of the people in Kali Yuga are intelligent enough, to ask the right questions or to, try to understand this, the very reason of our existence, basically. What is our eternal constitutional position? Who is God? What is our relationship with Him? All these kind of. And out of those 25, most of them are either karmis or fructive actors. So कर्मीज और फ्रुक्टिव एक्टर्स मीन्स कि भगवान मुझे बस ये एग्जाम पास करा दो 3 अगरबत्ती डेली चढ़ाऊंगा पक्का, दैट इज कॉल्ड कर्मी. और भगवान जॉब नहीं लग रही है, जॉब लगा दो 1 kg लड्डू पक्का एवरीडे, और फिर वो दैट एवरीडे नेवर कम्स एक्चुअली जॉब लगने के बाद. और भगवान वो लड़की बहुत पसंद है मुझे, प्लीज उसे गर्लफ्रेंड बना दो मेरी यार, एकदम पक्का इस बार तो एकदम पक्का 2 kg लड्डू चढ़ाऊंगा आपको. So this is what fructive actors are. That we are not actually trying to worship Krishna or worship Lord Vishnu just because he is Krishna or he is Vishnu. Okay, we are just trying to strike a business deal with him. Okay, I am doing this, so I want this, and in return. Okay, we have a long list of to-dos. Okay, and we just give it. या फिर भगवान को भी जस्ट कंसिडर एज एन ATM मशीन कि जहाँ देखा बस कार्ड स्वाइप कर दिया. So that should not happen. Okay, so we will see what is the mood of a pure devotee once we proceed in the later. And Krishna also confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, he says Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschinma vetti tattvata. That means out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor to perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in the truth. Okay, that means those people, even those who have attained perfection, they hardly, very few, or maybe 1 or 2 of them, they try to understand who Krishna is, what Krishna wants, and what Krishna wants, and I am going to do just that, just to please Krishna. Okay, that is what we are actually hankering for as devotees. Okay, so Because in Kali Yuga, most of the people are very dull-headed. As we said, 75% of them are just, not interested in spirituality at all. We have seen that in the book distribution also, right? You go, you talk to them about any movies or, how much runs India scored in the latest test match against New Zealand. They will show a lot of interest. Just try handing them a Bhagavad Gita. They will run away as if we are handing AK-47 to them. Right? Or we have asked them for the kidney. Yeah, kidney de do mujhe. So this is the dull-headedness of people of Kali Yuga. Okay? So now we'll try to understand who is Adhokshaja. Okay? Now, when we talk about Adhokshaja, it means that something which is beyond our sensory perceptions. Okay? Say for example, we have eyes through which we can see different things. We have ears through which we can hear. We have skin so that we can, touch and feel. Adhokshaja is someone or a personality who is beyond these sensory perceptions. Okay? So such a person is known as Adhokshaja. And he is none other than Krishna or Vishnu himself. Okay? So Bhagwan is Adhokshaja. Okay? And Adhokshaja also means that one who is transcendental to these three gunas. Okay, no matter in which loka we are residing, either we are in the topmost planetary system in this material world, which is the Brahma Loka, or we are in the lowermost planetary system, which is the Patal Loka. Okay, all the lokas, the individuals or the residents of all these lokas are impacted by the three modes of material nature. Okay, no one can say that I am a resident of, say, Brahma Loka, it's the highest, planetary system in this material world, so I am not touched by the three gunas. No, it's not like that. Okay, all of us are actually, governed or controlled by the laws of nature or by the three modes of material nature, and only Krishna is actually transcendental to all these three modes. Okay, so this is the reason why we see here in the translation. Okay, like it is said that. The sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. Okay, so the reason why they used to render service is a very nice analogy, which again Srila Prabhupada tells us in the Bhagavad Gita is suppose you are tied down on a chair. Okay, your hands and legs are tied down very tightly. Will you be able to free yourself by your own? No, you won't. You will need a help of a person who is already free. Only a free person whose hand and legs are free, they can untie you and they can free you from that bondage, right? So similarly, since Krishna is, beyond these three modes of material nature, he is free from all those three gunas. So only he can provide us liberation. Okay, lot of people, they have this question that किसी की भी पूजा करेंगे तो चलेगा, मोक्ष तो कोई भी दे सकते हैं. No, it's not like that. No one can just handle you moksha or liberation just like that. Okay, it's only in the hands of Lord Krishna or Sri Vishnu. Why? Because he is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. He is the only free personality. Okay, so he has created this, this material world completely. And what was it like? Even before creation, he was there. During the creation, he is there, and even after annihilation, he will be there. Okay, so that is the reason why he is known as transcendental or Adhokshaja. Now the question arises, and a lot of people ask this question that Prabhuji, मैंने भगवान को तो कभी देखा नहीं है, right? So how do you say that God is there? Okay, and we have seen that yes, he is transcendental to all the senses, all the sensory perceptions, right? That he is Adhokshaja, he is transcendental to all the three, all the sensory perceptions. Okay, and all the three gunas. Then how can we try to understand Krishna? So Krishna cannot be understood by our mental speculation. Okay, there are a lot of what we call as the armchair speculators. Okay, a glass of wine in one hand, cigarette in another hand, and then they are commenting on scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bagavatham. That's not the right one. We will never ever able to understand Krishna if we try to analyze that in a dry physical speculation, by which we are doing. Most of the people are doing these days. Okay, Krishna can be understood only by Krishna himself. Only when Krishna desires to reveal himself to the devotees, then and only then we will be able to understand. And how can Krishna reveal himself to us? By once we start rendering pure devotional service unto him. Okay, a very nice shloka is there in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Okay, Atah Sri Krishna Namadi. Please repeat after me. Atah Sri Krishna Namadi न भवेत् ग्राह्यमिन्द्रिय सेवोन्मुखे हि जिह्वादो स्वयं एव स्फुरत्यदः. That means, therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and to taste the remnants of Lord's food, the tongue is purified and gradually comes to understand Krishna, who Krishna really is. So very nice verse. And if you ever come across such people who try to question you, कि भगवान को तो मैंने कभी देखा नहीं है, how do you believe God is there? Just quote this shloka. Okay, tell them that how to realize Krishna, right? Because he is adhokshaja, he cannot be understood by our sensory perceptions. We have to render pure devotional service unto him. Okay. So why should we worship adhokshaja? Another question. Okay. First, so if we read the translation again, what is said here? Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Okay, so this is the main reason why, to free ourselves from the material contamination. The main aim of each and every single living entity, okay, is to go back home, back to Krishna. Break this cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Krishna. Okay, this place is not a very happy place, is not a very good place, which generally we perceive it to be. Why? Because we are completely under Maya, under the illusory potency of Lord Sri Krishna. And then in that illusion, we think that, okay, this place is a very wonderful place. Okay, but if we think deeply, we will see that there is only struggle here. Maybe after a lot of struggle, we may derive a little bit of happiness, but then that's again very, very temporary and very short-lived. Okay? So the main aim of each and every single living entity is to break this cycle of birth and death, go back home, back to Krishna. Okay? Finish your business in this lifetime, as Srila Prabhupada used to say. Okay? No need to linger around here for a long time. Okay? So, and how does this happen? Okay? Because Krishna is above the three modes of material nature, as I said, so only he can liberate us, because we are tied down by the three modes of material nature and he is liberated, he is transcendental, so he can free us. So, in Bhagavad Gita there is a very nice shloka, okay, Devi yesha gunmayi mam maya durattaya mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. That means a living entity, no matter how hard we try by ourselves, we are simply not strong enough to overcome Maya. Okay? Just try to understand like this, that Maya Devi, okay, or Durga Devi, she is a pure devotee of Krishna. Okay? She is a top class Vaishnavi, 100% devoted to Krishna. How much devotion do we have for Krishna? 5%, 10%? तो माया और हम में लड़ाई होगा तो कौन जीतेगा? 100% or 5%? चलो 20% दिया. Some people are very limited, 20-25%. But then again, she is always at the top, right? There is no chance that we are ever going to defeat her, by our own practices or by own spiritual endeavors. Okay? Until and unless we take the shelter of Lord Krishna, it's very, very difficult, to overcome the potential. And Krishna is confirming, okay, here, that this divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. Those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So we have to take shelter of Lord Sri Krishna's lotus feet. Otherwise, there is no hope. Okay? How do we take shelter? So by following the 12 Mahajans. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that there are 12 particular agents of the Lord who know the purpose of religion, and all of them render transcendental service unto him. Okay? So these are the 12 people, and we just need to follow on the footsteps. Okay, so who are they? Lord Brahma, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar. These were Manas Putras of Lord Brahma. Okay, Lord Kapil Dev. His description comes in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bagavatham. Right, he is an incarnation of Krishna himself. Born, he appeared from the womb of Devhuti, and his father was Sri Karda Muni. Okay, and Swambhu Manu. Okay, he is another Mahajan. Prahlad Maharaj, King Janak, Bhishma Dev, Bali Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami and Yamraj. These are 12 Mahajans. We just simply need to follow on their footsteps. and then our life will be perfect. So how can we follow? Like how can we surrender unto Krishna? Okay, when Krishna says, I am the Supreme, then we have to accept it as it is. Okay, there is no question of, okay, I agree Krishna is Supreme, but what about Lord Shiva? Right? No, it doesn't happen that way. Okay, when he says that, okay, he is the Supreme, we have to accept it. He is the Supreme. Okay? Because Lord Shiva himself is saying, that Krishna is Supreme. He is constantly in meditation, meditating Ram, 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 constantly chanting his holy name. Right? Lord Brahma has confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that, okay, Krishna is the Supreme. Okay? So, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the Supreme. So, once he says, so we have to accept it. All these, doubts or these questions arise in our mind because of our own false ego. Okay? Prakrite kriya manani gune karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. Right? That a spirit soul bewildered by false ego thinks himself to be the doer of all activities, which are in fact carried out by the three modes of material nature. Correct? So, because of our false ego, we have these questions, that okay, if I believe in the personality, if I believe in Lord Shiva, or if I believe in, Mother Parvati or Durga, then how can I be wrong? Okay, that is the main reason why these doubts are there. It doesn't matter if Shiva is saying, Lord Shiva is saying that, Aradnam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradnam Param, right? That of all the Aradhana, worship of Lord Vishnu is the supreme. Okay? It doesn't matter if Durga Devi is a fully surrendered Vaishnavi to Krishna, but then everything aside, since I am thinking that okay, they are the supreme, so okay, they are the supreme. Right? It doesn't happen that way. Okay? So you have to first let go of this false ego. Okay, you have to understand that okay, when Krishna is saying I am the supreme, we have to accept as it is, and then we have to take the shelter of the spiritual master, because he is the only person who can guide us. Whenever there are doubts in our minds, whenever we are very confused with what to do, what not to do, and that is the person who will just guide you. It's a guiding light, towards Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also confirms Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya updekshanti te jnana jnaninas tattvadarshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, render service unto him, and because the self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Okay? Without taking shelter of a spiritual master, it's very, very, very difficult to make any progress on this path of spirituality. Okay? So first we have to surrender, and then we can ask the questions. Okay, it's never the other way around. That in the challenging mode, कि अच्छा ठीक है देखते हैं प्रभु जी को कितना आता है, and then we are asking some random questions, like that. Because see what happened, until unless Arjun surrendered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, okay, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. Before that, all the conversations between Krishna and Arjun, they were just like two friends, arguing on some topic, right? Arjun was fully frustrated. He was just very confused what to do, what not to do. And Krishna seemed to be enjoying that situation. He was smiling, just like a friends do, right? But once he surrendered, that okay, now I am a soul surrendered unto you, you just please instruct me what to do as a spiritual master. Then things got a little serious. Okay? Krishna assumed the role of a spiritual master, and then he gave us this Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So we have to first surrender. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita also tells us that what is the criteria for us to read the Bhagavad Gita. In the second chapter itself, when he tells Arjuna that, I am just forgetting that shloka. Yeah. Yes, Mataji? Okay. That one has to be in a friendly and non-envious disposition, towards Krishna. And Arjun was in that position. That is the reason why he said that I am giving this, divine knowledge to you. Right? So that is the first criteria. That first we have to be a devotee of Krishna. Okay, and second we have to be in a non-envious disposition towards him. It should not be that okay, why only Krishna can play the flute, why not I can't play the flute? Okay, we should not think like that. Why only Krishna can enjoy with the gopis, why can't I do the same? It doesn't happen that way. Okay, we have to be non-envious of Krishna, and we have to be in the friendly disposition towards him. Then and only then we can, take the shelter. We can surrender unto his lotus feet, and then Krishna will take charge of our lives. So now that brings us to what is our supreme dharma. Okay, so in this second canto itself, second chapter itself, we have come across this shloka. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaji. Again, the word adhokshaja is here, right? Ahetukya pratihata yayatmasu prasidati. That means the supreme dharma. Okay, can any one of you tell me what is the meaning of word dharma? Sorry? Serving to Krishna, okay, that's one. That's one aspect that you have just simply told the Param Dharma. Right? But in general, what is the meaning of this word dharma?
Prescribed duty.
Sorry?
Prescribed duty.
Yes, prescribed duties. It's our prescribed duties. So as an individual, okay, like we have a lot of prescribed duties. Okay? For example, I'm a man, so I have a prescribed duty as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a son, and similarly for the Matajis also. Okay, so these are prescribed duties. Similarly, in previous yugas there were the Varnashram system, right? So there also the prescribed duties were there. Okay, for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, there were different duties prescribed. Similarly, one who was a brahmachari, one who was a grihastha, one who was a vamprastha, one who was a sannyasi, they all have different prescribed duties. But Krishna says that, just sarva dharman parityaja, give up all these, prescribed duties and just surrender unto me. Okay, this is what he is, and this is what Bhagavatam is also confirming here. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaji. Of all the duties, the supreme, the topmost prescribed duty is to serve the Dhokshaja or Lord Sri Vishnu. Okay, and how is that service should be? How that service should be? It should be ahetuki and apratihata. Okay, ahetuki means it should be causeless. Just sometime before I said that exam pass kara dijiye 3 agarbatti, right? Job lagwa dijiye 1 kg laddu. No, that is not ahetuki. We are striking a business deal in that case. Okay, that's not ahetuki. Ahetuki means that, okay, I will serve Krishna because that is my eternal constitutional position. He is Krishna, that's why I am going to serve him. Okay, so without any expectations or without any desires, we just need to serve him. Okay, and apratihata means it should be continuous. Okay, so a very, a real and a genuine personality who comes in my mind when I say this term apratihata is my Guru Maharaj, like His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Just look at his physical condition today, right? I mean, he is suffering from a stroke, he has diabetes, I mean, there are so many, transplants that has happened onto him, on his body. And just imagine in that condition also, if any other person who were in his situation, like trust me, they would have struggled to carry out their day-to-day, duties, in fact. But just look at him, he wakes up in the Brahma Muhurta, he follows all the procedures which are there for a sannyasi. He has a very hectic schedule throughout the day. Okay, he goes for a dialysis and then after that in the evening he takes Bhagavatam class and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right? That is apratihata, that under any circumstances whatsoever, I will not give up my, service or devotional service towards Krishna. Okay, so but here in this material world, like see, everything is driven by lust. Like you just think about any relationship. Okay, it is just just put this litmus test that is it ahetuki or apratihata here? It's not. Okay, all the relationships are simply you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. As long as I am deriving some benefit from your presence, I will accept you as a friend or as a spouse or as a son or a daughter or whatever. The moment my sense gratification stops because of you, we are better off strangers. Okay, that is the nature of this material world. Even like see the most the purest form of so-called love in this material world is that between a mother and a child, right? But then that is also contaminated. Just think over it that as a mother, when a lady tries to bring up her child, okay, whether it's a son or a daughter, she has certain set of expectations associated with that child. Okay, this child will behave in such and such manner. This child will study timely and will interact with other people in such and such manner. So once that expectation creeps in, and the moment that child breaks those expectations, what happens? Immediately anger shoots up and they tadataru. So this is what happens actually. So the moment that expectation creeps in, it's no longer pure love. Okay, just imagine if your spouse talks to you in a very rude way or even in an abusive way, will you feel the same love and affection towards him or her? That is the litmus test. Ahetuki nahi hai. It's not causeless, correct? And during that time, when you are fully angry, will you feel that same love and warmth towards your spouse? So it's not apratihata also, right? So everything in this material world is just a perverted reflection of what is there in the spiritual world. Okay? So it's not apratihata, it's not a hatuki, it's only lust here. Okay? It took me a lot of time to come to terms with this fact, but now when I see these things, I realize, that yes, this is very, very true. And the devotees, like the true devotees of the Lord, what to speak about them? Okay, they are on this Anyabhilashita Shunyam platform. Okay, so very nice verse again from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Please try to repeat after me. Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmarthanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Yes. So a devotee is on the Anyabhilashita Shunyam platform, and that is basically a hetuki. Devotee does not expect anything, from Krishna, right? They just want to serve. They don't even want liberation. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Okay, don't give me liberation. I am not hankering for that also. You want me to send to the hellish planet systems? Fine, you send me to hell. Yamaraj is, as we have discussed, he is one of the 12 Mahajans. We'll sit with him, we'll chant Hare Krishna over there. Right? That is the mood of a pure devotee. Right? So, and the service that we render unto him is anukulyena. That means we try to understand what Krishna likes and we do just that. Okay? Krishna likes a lot of things, but whether my mood is to, serve Krishna in that way. Right? When Krishna is very fond of wrestling, actually. When he was wrestling with Chanur and Mushtik in that arena of Kansa, he was deriving pleasure from that fight. Okay? He was enjoying. But can we consider that Chanur and Mushtik were giving, performing pure devotional service unto Krishna? No. Why? Because mood was not there, right? They were there to kill him, actually. And same Krishna, when he wrestles with the cowherd boys on the banks of river Yamuna, then can we say that is it a pure devotional service? Yes. Why? Because the cowherd boys understand, okay, this fellow likes wrestling, so I'll wrestle him and then we'll play accordingly. So you see the action is the same. They are both wrestling, okay? But one is in pure devotional service, but the other one is not in the pure devotional service. Okay, so this is the meaning of anukulyena. We have to understand what Krishna likes and then we have to do just that. Okay? So this is the consciousness of the Brajavasis. Okay, just imagine like Krishna, when this Govardhan Leela was happening, he was just an adolescent boy, right? In his early adolescence rather, right? And when he came to know that when his father Nand Maharaj was actually preparing for that, big puja of Lord Indra, so he came and asked that what is this all about? And they told him that okay, we worship Indra every year because he is the one who gives us rain, and we are we are the people who are actually dependent on our cows and all the livestock that we have. And they are in turn dependent on rains. So we are worshipping Indra because Indra is the god of rain. So Krishna just said that okay, I don't think that he is a very intelligent god, right? He just pours his rains everywhere, even on the rocks and rivers where it's not required. So why do you worship Indra? Rather you worship Govardhan, who is giving such green grass and so many fruits and so many other things. And eating those grass are like cows are very healthy and they are giving us so much of milk. So just imagine that an adolescent boy who is suggesting something, and the consciousness of the Brajavasis that without questioning him for an instant, they simply stopped the worship of Indra and they went and worshipped Govardhan. Okay? That is the Krishna consciousness, true Krishna consciousness. Just imagine the condition of Vasudeva when he was in the prison actually. He was completely tied down by so many heavy chains. Him, Devaki and both Vasudeva, they were both tied down at that time. 10 or 11 iron doors were there, and on each of the doors 2 or 3 very strongly built huge bodyguards were there guarding that prison. Okay, and it was pouring heavily, like outside it was raining heavily. Yamuna was at her all time high, वो danger mark सब cross कर चुकी थी इस time पे, right? And in that circumstances Krishna appears and instructs Vasudeva that okay, take me to Gokul, to Nand Maharaj's house. If I were in his place, I would have said, what Krishna? देखो बाहर मुस्टंडे खड़े हैं, ठीक है, मेरे हाथों में बेड़ियाँ पड़ी हुई हैं, बाहर यमुना जी ओवरफ्लो कर रही है. You are asking me to go? But just look at the consciousness of Vasudeva. What did he do? He simply picked him up without questioning, just put his hand forward and just tried to pick him up. That is Vasudeva consciousness. Okay? That I just need to understand what Krishna is saying, I have to do just that. No questions, no ifs, no buts. So this is the mood of a pure devotee. And to just elaborate a little more on this, I will just narrate a very sweet pastime which took place between Lord Hanuman and Mother Sita. Okay. Now Lord Hanuman is one personality that in India we'll see that there are many sects of in the Sanatan Dharma or in Hinduism we see, okay, that there are different sampradayas basically, right? But some people are worshippers of Lord Shiva, some people are worshippers of Goddess Durga, some people are Vaishnavas, right? But Lord Hanuman is one such personality who is actually equally respected and loved in all the sampradayas. Okay, he is that he has that special position. Okay, and this is a very sweet pastime which actually reveals that what is the mood of a true devotee. So it so happened that when this Sampati, the brother of Jatayu, he gave the information that Mother Sita is in Lanka. Ravan has abducted her and she has been made captive in Lanka, so you can go and find her there. So no one was able to cross that huge ocean which was between Lanka and the Vandar Sena basically. So this responsibility was given to Lord Hanuman, and in one jump actually he simply crossed, and in between he killed many demons also. Okay, and finally he went to Lanka. When he went to Lanka, he saw that this is such a beautiful city actually, right? And this place is like more beautiful than the Swargaloka. Right? The entire city was made of gold, and then there were some very severe demons, very dangerous looking demons who were guarding it. So he looked for Mother Sita for quite a long time, went in the personal rooms of Ravan himself. He was not able to find her there, and then he met Vibhishan, and then Vibhishan told him that she has been kept captive in Ashok Vatika. So he went to Ashok Vatika, and then he saw that Mother Sita was surrounded by all these demonesses, and they were threatening her, and all these things were happening. He felt very bad, and but he thought that, okay, first let me finish off the task for which I have been assigned. Let me meet her, let me show her the ring of Lord Ram, and then I can see what can be done. So when night fell and all the demonesses were fast asleep, Lord Hanuman jumped from that tree, and he went up to Mother Sita, and he was in a very tiny form, just like the size of a toddler. Now, what is toddler? Toddler is 2 or 3 year old, a kid who has just started crawling. Okay, and everything happened like the conversation. He started conversing. He gave the ring of Lord Ramchandra. Mother Sita was very, very happy to see him. And then he said that माँ आपको अगर थोड़ा डाउट है तो आप बस आज्ञा कीजिए, अभी के अभी मैं आपको उठा करके ले चलता हूँ यहाँ से, in this very instant. And Mother Sita was looking at him, that look at this fellow, ये बोल रहा है कि उठा के ले चलता हूँ मैं तुम्हें, अभी मैं अगर इसके साथ गई तो कौन किसको उठाएगा? But since she was a very intelligent lady, she didn't want to discourage Hanuman. So she asked in a very indirect way कि क्या भगवान राम की सेना में जितने भी वानर हैं वो तुम्हारे जैसे हैं? But Hanuman is also, Vidyavan Guniyati Chatur, right? He knows like everything. So he understood the meaning of what Mother Sita was trying to say. So he just expanded himself, and it took a huge form, just like that of a mountain. And Mother Sita was just looking. Then he said, "Arey Baba, तुम्हें बताओ तो कि तुम्हारा original size क्या है? Sometimes you are this small. Sometimes tomorrow if I want to gift you a T-shirt, मुझे size तो पता होना चाहिए ना यार, XL, XXL कुछ तो क्या दूँगी मैं तुम्हें, right?" So then Lord Hanuman made a very nice statement. Okay, that माँ जो initial form that you saw, right? That is my initial form. I am nothing. I am just like a toddler. Okay. But for my Ram Prabhu, I can assume any form and I can, do any kind of a duty that has been prescribed to me. Okay. So, and he also said that a devotee or a bhakt is just like an arrow. Okay. An arrow in itself is a very inert thing. Okay. You just keep it will simply lie. It will be just lying here. Okay. It is not very potent. Okay. But the same arrow, when it is shot from a very high quality bow, and the shooter has a very strong arm and hands, okay, then it becomes a lethal weapon. Okay, so just that is the condition of a pure devotee. A pure devotee in itself, they do not consider themselves as anything. कि जो कुछ भी है बस भगवान की कृपा से. The devotional service is that strong bow, and the person who is firing that arrow is none other than Krishna, right? So once we realize that, and then when these two things are there with us, the strong bow is there of devotional service, and Krishna's powerful hands are there, then a devotee can become really, really lethal. Okay, it simply just pierces through all the layers of this material world and just lands in the Golok Vrindavan, right on the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Okay, so this was a very beautiful pastime which I just narrated to all of you. And now we'll try to see what are the lessons that we can derive from this session, okay, from this particular shloka. First is that Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person, okay. There is no question of an impersonal form. If you have any doubts or any questions regarding that, please get it dispelled as soon as possible, okay. So try to ask the questions and get those questions answered. Second, since he is beyond the perception of our physical senses, he cannot be understood by our physical speculation also. Okay, so only way to understand Krishna is through pure devotional service. Okay, that's one thing. Or one has to surrender unto him and the spiritual master to understand Krishna, following the footsteps of the 12 Mahajans. Okay, that is one thing. And then finally, very important thing, it's the shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata tyakatva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjana. Right, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body take birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Okay, sometimes activities of Krishna may appear to be very mundane. Okay, when he is dancing with the gopis, then all the young boys and girls can think, okay, that if Krishna is doing, I can also do that. Okay, when he is stealing butter, someone may think that okay, अगर Krishna चोरी कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी कर सकता हूँ, right? But we have to understand that all these pastimes, all these activities are transcendental. They are all divyam. Okay, one who is clear about these actions of Krishna, upon quitting their body, they will never ever come back again in this material world. Okay. So on that note, I would like to pause here. If there are any questions, I would like to take it now. And thank you very much for being patient. I don't know how this session went, but yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Any questions? Any realization?